Hello, flourishing souls. Welcome. My name is Marley, and I am a clairvoyant, empath, Reiki master, and I specialize in past life readings. Today, we're going to be looking at what kinds of past lives are most impacting you in your current life now. So, just to kind of clarify, that is going to encompass both positive and negative past lives. Just because it's impacting your life doesn't mean it has to be karmic. It doesn't mean that it has to be negative. It could also be a more empowered version of you in another lifetime that is asking to be integrated right now. So we will see what comes through. It may also be karmic. It's whatever comes through, comes through. If you are watching this within a week or so of me posting this, then you are in eclipse season. This is a really, really powerful time to be clearing past lives. You do not have to be watching this, within a short period around when I posted this. It really doesn't matter. This is a timeless video. But if you're watching this around an eclipse season, then eclipses, especially solar eclipses, are super powerful for purging out karma, and lunar eclipses are really powerful for integrating higher energies and integrating like higher aspects of our soul. So that's just something to think about. So a little background about me is that I started remembering my own past lives about 6 years ago. I've been on this journey of remembering ever since, and my whole awakening has been surrounding integrating and processing my own past lives, and eventually it turned into offering readings for others. And so I was guided to create this YouTube channel and also do readings on a greater scale and do readings for not just individuals but for the collective. I do offer one-on-one readings. If you're interested, you can find the information on that below in the description. I just ask that if you are interested in a reading, that before you book, you reach out to me either through email or through my Instagram and let me know that you're interested, and then I will check in with my guides to just make sure that it's aligned for me to give you a past life reading. I also offer mentorships and galactic Reiki sessions, which it will kind of be the same thing. I'll ask that you just reach out to me before you book, and I'll make sure that it is aligned, that I give you a session of any kind. Let's get started with this reading. So we have 3 options here for you to choose from. So take a moment, tune in, see which card you feel drawn to. This is going to be pile 1. This is going to be pile 2. And this is going to be pile 3. So I'm actually going to hold up these crystals. Oh, and one more thing. There may be some noise in the background. There may be a little bit of barking. I'll try to cut out any like really big distracting noises, but my walls are thin here, and my landlady has a bunch of dogs. And so you just might hear sounds in the background, but we're just gonna work through it. Okay, so holding up the crystals, this is for pile 1. This is for pile 2. It's very sparkly. I don't know if the light's capturing it super well, but it's very blue. All right. And this is for pile 3. So again, take a moment, pause the video if you need more time to tune in to which card and crystal you feel drawn to. Once you decide which crystal you are drawn to, you can scroll down to the timestamps below and skip ahead to your reading, and I will see you there. All right. Hello, Pile 1. Welcome to your reading. We're going to get started and see what first card I pulled for you guys. So just so you guys know, this card is kind of like the overall energy of what's going on with your energy field. And then we're going to be able to dive in deeper as to which past lives are most impacting you now. So your general energy, we have Earthed, learning how to be human in the world but not of it. So immediately this does make me think that there is some sort of karmic patterns that may be clearing for you from past lives. I'm seeing sort of like this netting that I feel is representing being caught in some sort of karmic web, karmic patterns. And I'm also seeing like a higher energy that is integrating for you guys. So kind of a little bit of both karmic and higher energies that are being cleared, and learning how to be human in the world but not of it is kind of just like, I feel, to me, I mean, that's pretty straightforward. That's a pretty straightforward thing to say, I feel like, but I feel like it's kind of like saying like how to be detached but also still be in a world and not be disassociated, you know? Like often when we experience trauma, we'll disassociate. Any kind of trauma, it doesn't even matter like the level of trauma. It could just be simply like being yelled at, like we can disassociate. And so I feel like when it's saying learning how to be human in the world but not of it is kind of like how to not disassociate from our own traumas and our own pain, but also not be driven by that pain and like be so in it that it encompasses us. So all right, let's get started. So I'm gonna pull some cards now to see what kinds of past lives are most impacting you now in your current life. So we have Seven of Swords reversed. Make sure you can see that. Yeah. Okay. What other past lives is Pile 1 experiencing? Or what other past lives are most impacting Pile 1's life at this time? We have Four of Cups, Ace of Pentacles, I'm just seeing like, I'm seeing some sort of cycles repeating here. Hello, friends. Okay, so I just kind of like cut out some of this channeling because it took me a minute to sort of fully grasp what was coming through. But it's all sort of become clear to me now, and so I'm just going to redo speaking this all out loud. And so basically, first off, I feel like those of you who are watching this are starseeds. And for those of you who might not know what starseeds means, to me, it's someone who comes from somewhere other than Earth, like a higher dimension, a different planet, and they come here and they're like a seed. And they could be from Earth too, actually, but it's like they're from a higher dimension. Their soul is very evolved, and they come here in this current incarnation as a starseed to basically be activated and woken up at some point in their lifetime. Some starseeds are woken up right away in their childhood, some are woken up later in life. Either way, it's very orchestrated when they wake up, and their DNA is essentially activated, and they undergo all these initiations and clearing. And so those of you who are watching this video, or who have chosen pile 1 in watching this video, I feel like your souls are like these warrior souls that I'm hearing blue rays. Some of you are going to resonate with being a blue ray. And it's like you came here to hold the original blueprint of Earth on this planet. And so as these like warrior souls, you chose to actually go down into these lower dimensions and kind of like experience really heavy, intense karma. This is very particular about your soul, those of you who are watching this, because this is not for everyone. Not all souls do this. Just to be clear, like every soul is different. Not all souls choose to accumulate as much karma as possible in order to clear it. Like I feel like your guys' souls have done that. You came here to accumulate karma, to clear it, and actually like assist the human race to ascend through clearing this karma. Okay, so it's like you have endured a lot of karma. So that's why when I was seeing the 7 of Swords, I was seeing these like loops, these karmic loops happening. And I feel like it's not actually a disempowerment. It's like not so much disempowering, even though it was disempowering. Like it's like two perspectives happening at once here, which is ironic because we have in the world but not of it. And I feel like it's like merging these two perspectives of, for one, your soul's experienced a lot of trauma and your soul has experienced a lot of disempowerment, but for 2, your soul has experienced, like has chosen to experience that because your soul knows that it's strong enough to endure it and is kind of like a guiding force, a leading force in clearing it. So if you're watching this video, if you're watching this particular reading, then that is you, even if you haven't fully cleared it yet. Like, this is something that I think is so important to note, is that there are souls who have way more karma to clear, but are way more evolved than some souls who don't have as much karma to clear. And they maybe just haven't been around as much, and they actually could be much younger souls. And so it's like there's no comparing here. And again, every soul has its own unique gift. And I feel like one of your soul gifts is to clear karma. So that was really coming through strongly. Like you understand devil energy. You understand the dark. You came here to experience that. You've also came here as a way shower. I'm hearing way shower. Like I'm getting chills, honestly, as I'm talking. But yeah, and you've experienced a lot. So I was also seeing particular lifetime for some of you that maybe you've experienced. So this is where it's like, take what resonates and leave the rest. But what I was seeing was, and actually I keep hearing English royal family, British royal families, like over and over and over. And I was initially drawn to these castles. This is all the part that I just cut out because it's like slowly unraveled, and then it all clicked together, like, oh, okay. So drawn to these castles, kind of seeing these castles as like an imprisonment, like feeling like maybe some of you have experienced incarnating in these English royal families before, and that I often, when I tune into the English royal family, again, take what resonates but leave the rest, but I will see the reptilians kind of like running the show behind the scenes, and that there was all this like trafficking that happened, almost like under the grounds of an English royal family castle. This is a vision that I'm getting, and so I feel like some of you have actually been experienced being kind of like imprisoned by reptilians as part of these royal families. And so it's like everything you did wasn't even like your choice. It was like, it wasn't even your family's choice. Like, and it was like you were at the top of this hierarchy, but you were imprisoned still. And so there's this disassociating that happened where your soul kind of like disassociated in order to be the superficial face for like royalty. That's for some of you. Others of you who like, and you'll know, your soul knows if that resonates. You'll know, like you'll know if something is true if you have an emotional response, if you feel relief, if it settles in your being. Like sit with it and let it simmer and just see if it really, settles. Okay, and so I was also seeing that some of you actually chose to experience being trafficked. And the intense thing about this trafficking that I have picked up on is that the way that the reptilians will traffic children and people is they'll harvest the energy of that soul in a way that is like basically feeding off of their fear, feeding off of their inner power, their sexual energy, and then it kind of like entraps them into a karmic cycle. And so this has been going on for so long, and this has been a huge issue going on underneath the surface of humanity, is this child trafficking that's been going down. And many souls who are starseeds, who are very evolved, actually chose to experience being trafficked to assist with freeing other souls from this entrapment, because it sort of traps a soul into a karmic loop where they'll continue to experience lifetimes of being either enslaved or experiencing many lifetimes of disempowerment, or also experiencing being trafficked over and over and over again. It is like an enslavement of sorts of like just humanity in general. And so some of you, if you resonate with that, may have been those souls that chose to experience that, which means that there may be some deep healing work to do around your womb, deep healing work to do around your emotional body and connecting with your emotional body and bringing your soul fully back into your present moment. And I think one of like the biggest ways to clear this is, first of all, just acknowledging what your soul is and the empowering aspect of your soul, and that your soul actually just chooses to incarnate into really harsh experiences because it knows how to clear it, and that your soul is actually extremely evolved, even if you feel right now that you're like not there. Like if you don't feel enlightened or you feel like in a lower frequency, that doesn't mean that your soul isn't highly evolved. And I feel this tendency that you may, like, some of you may actually like place other people or other souls like on a pedestal, but the work that you are doing is like warrior work. Not everyone can do this. Like, you've done a lot for humanity by choosing to endure what you've endured. And yeah, you've experienced like major imprisonment. I'm also hearing like huge divine feminine healing work. You guys are like divine feminine light warriors. Whether you're like a male or a female, it doesn't matter. I'm like going off here. So much coming through. So basically, like, the divine feminine doesn't just encompass how women were mistreated in past lives. You know, the suppression of the divine feminine wasn't just the suppression of women. It is, the divine feminine energy is unification. It's like oneness. It's unity. The divine masculine is that structure. It's what separates us. It's what gives us purpose. It's what allows us to experience this world, you know, as separate beings and have egos. Like, it gives us that structure. Too much of it will give us too much separation, but none of it at all gives us no experience at all, like no existence. So we need both, and the divine feminine is that unity. So as these divine feminine light warriors, it's like you are bringing back that unification. All right, I'm gonna pull a couple clarifying cards just to clarify a little bit more about what is coming up for you guys. I feel like you guys are being activated right now. Like your starseed energy is being activated. Your DNA is being activated. So we're gonna get a little bit more clarity. And that's why you might be experiencing some heavy stuff coming up too. You're going through this clearing process, this cleansing process, but your soul naturally knows what to do to clear it. This is something you've done before. Like, you know how to ascend. I feel like you guys have ascended before. On this planet maybe, or on other planets. But you know how to do this kind of work. You guys are Blu-ray children. Like, Blu-ray is all about incarnation. It's all about ascension. It's all about like karma. Okay, I'm gonna pull a couple more cards for pile 1. What else can you tell us about pile 1? 5 of Wands. Yeah, it's light warrior right there. It feels like that's like every incarnation you've had. All these men kind of look the same to me. They're like these light warriors. But also like community, I'm hearing. Like, so yeah, it's like unity. You guys may be experiencing the rise of the divine feminine within you, which is which could potentially be bringing up emotional trauma in you. Yeah, if there's like heavy energy coming up for you, yeah, it's because you're going through a major clearing and up leveling. Let's see what else. 6 of Pentacles reversed. Pull a couple more cards. Oh my. The High Priestess reverse. Some of you might be kind of resisting these upgrades a little bit. Like, I see some of you kind of thinking that there might be something wrong with you, or maybe thinking you're going backwards in time, like maybe you're like, I already overcame these struggles, why are they still coming up? It's because this is a lot of lives that you're clearing. Like, it's not just this life struggle, like you have so many lives of karma that you're clearing, and it's for the collective, but also for yourself, also for your soul evolution. But it's also like you came here as a light warrior for Earth, for the people of Earth, to hold space for others who are newer to incarnations, to learn how to exist in the lower realms. I'm hearing you guys are really ancient souls. Page of Pentacles. Oh, that is so beautiful. I love this energy. This is like giving me chills. This is the energy that I feel like you guys are in right now. You're being showered with light and rainbow energy. Totally makes me think of this, like how it's interesting because this card made me think of Atlantis, and then this is like the white flame and the rainbow flame, rainbow ray, white ray coming in. So I don't know if you guys watched, I can't even remember which previous video I talked about this in, but there has been a process of integrating the white ray and the rainbow ray back on our planet, which were taken out in the times of Lemuria and Atlantis. When the rainbow ray was taken out, that was during the fall of Lemuria, and the rainbow ray was no longer able to exist on this planet. And the same with the white ray. It was taken out when Atlantis fell. And so it was kind of like this boom, boom. Lemuria fell, then Atlantis fell. And what's happening right now is this like purification from the white ray and integration from the rainbow ray. So you can actually call in that rainbow energy or the white flame to assist with healing, calling in Archangel Gabriel and Archaea Hope to purify your soul using the white flame, and calling in, I think his name is Archangel Seraphiel, same soul as Melchizedek. You can also call in Melchizedek to assist with integrating the rainbow ray into your being. So that could also just help. That was just a side note. That could also help with integrating these light codes that are coming in for you guys. But yeah, I'm just gonna pull one more card. Yeah, you guys are just I'm just hearing you're releasing yourselves from entrapment. Just like this whale being, I feel like this is like you and this is your higher self, even though the whale is like way bigger. I feel like it should be the other way around, but I feel like you're like freeing yourself, or your higher self is like freeing you of these entrapments. So you might be going through a huge clearing right now. And again, it could feel like you're taking steps back when in reality you're actually just, you're taking bounds and leaps forward. It's just many cycles, many lifetimes of cycles that are being cleared. So that is what came through for you guys. I'm gonna pull a card for assistance in and guidance in clearing the past life karma that came up in your reading, which is just so much more general. I feel like we didn't even zoom super deep into anything too particular, because your guys' souls have been just around. You've experienced so much that I feel like I feel like what's happening is a greater purge on like a greater level. It's not even about zooming in too far right now into particular incarnations. Sorry about the barking. All right, so we're gonna pull some cards for you guys just for guidance. We have Benefactor, Grace and Generosity. Pull one more. Root Girl, the Disowned Self. So I'm going to read these messages out loud, starting with this one, this card, Benefactor. Grace and generosity, gifts, support, mentoring. When the benefactor weaves her energy into your life, you're put on notice that all manner of positive reinforcement is coming your way. The universe wants to let you know that just as you have been generous with others, serving with your gifts even in the smallest capacity, so will you be rewarded in myriad ways. The most beautiful gift the benefactor gives you is the recognition that you are stewarding and sharing abundance on behalf of a higher source, one that is always working through you. The motives for her generosity to you, as well as yours to others, are intangible, although you will see the results reflected in the material world. The benefactor reminds you that it's in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity that, paradoxically, your initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold, seemingly without any connection to the original act. Dream sharing and carrying into being, and you will be amazed. Oh, sorry, I feel like I read that weirdly. Dream sharing and carrying into being, and you will be amazed to see this vibrant seed take root and spread. Do it just because, and the benefactor will give you her blessing. Yeah, I mean, I also feel like that's just like what your soul has been doing, like through incarnating across so many intense lifetimes. You've been serving, and your evolution and your the service that you bring to others now is it's huge. And even just like your personal evolution, that's huge. Like as you clear your karma, that's gonna be really shifting major energy on the planet, just as you doing your own inner healing work. But yeah, I feel like this card probably has other messages for you that are gonna be unique for you. I'm just gonna reread a sentence because I felt like it came out kind of weirdly when I read it. The benefactor reminds you that it's in the purity of your desire to share without the need for reciprocity that paradoxically your initial generosity is reciprocated tenfold, seemingly without any connection to the original act. So yeah, I feel like it's also like, maybe I'm picking up on like an energy that some of you might be feeling like you're not seeing shifts happening in your life. Again, we're kind of coming back to that feeling like maybe you're taking steps back. But I don't see that you're taking steps back. I feel like it's just more and more stuff releasing out of you, and it can feel like taking steps back, but no, it's just like karmic patterns and deep karma that's just like so deep in your being that continues to unravel and unravel and unravel. And the work that you're doing and the service that you're providing for others, however that looks, whatever it is that you're doing right now is it might feel like it's going unnoticed, but I feel like the light that's integrating into your being right now is like part of you experiencing the reciprocation of the energy you've been putting out into the world. But I'm also hearing, like, I keep hearing put energy into yourself, put energy into yourself. So that might be for some of you. But okay, we're gonna read the next one, which is Root Girl, the Disowned Self. Hidden beauty, the need for acceptance and love. Root Girl sits shivering, unclean and naked at the base of the tree of the self. She is unloved, unwanted, and shunned for her deformities. She has no home but is safe burrowing underground to dwell near the deepest roots of this sacred tree. Who is she to you? Can this urchin be the one part of you that, reintegrated, can lead you to wholeness and true purpose? This is a part of you, the embodiment of a deeply flawed perception of your failures, manifesting as guilt and shame. When you project envy onto others or any emotion or instinct that you've learned to repress or deem unnatural, it's this homeless child self crying for attention, acceptance, and love. You want to lash out, ignore it, push it aside, all the while refusing to acknowledge this ugly quality as belonging to you. Ah, but if you would only look into the Root Girl's eyes and see the beauty in the unmet need, your unmet need, you would realize that this part of you asks for your compassion and understanding. This part of you was born when you were wounded and were conditioned to believe you were not whole, that your expression of self is somehow too much or too little. You may have even inherited this creature from your ancestors. However, it was this child self came to be curled up at the roots of your sacred tree self. It's time to welcome her into your heart. When you do, everything you've been searching for becomes illuminated and your path lights up with renewed purpose. When you come to love Root Girl and claim her as your own, accepting her and your humanity, she is transformed just as you are. Then all manner of magic begins to arrive in abundant form, looking for the beauty. Wow. That's so beautiful. I feel like it also so goes along with this reading, because I feel like I was seeing this almost like things that are your gifts might not, it could be easy to perceive it as something that's not a gift, because especially if it's like you've accumulated so much karma and you want to ascend or you want to up level your life in some way and it just feels like you're getting nowhere, it'd be easy to compare yourself to others and be like, well, they have it better. How did they get there so easy? But it's like their path is so different. Their mission is so different. Like, it's not even worth comparing. It's like they might not even like your specialty is so different than theirs. They probably are like in a completely different pool. It's like you can't even compare. Like your specialty is potentially through this ability to incarnate into so many lives and accumulate karma and then clear it, whereas their specialty could be, you know, just incarnating every once in a while and coming in with like all this light wisdom and not accumulating karma. Like it could be just like totally different circumstances. I don't know if I explained that the best, but we're just gonna leave it at that. I think the greatest takeaway from this is that I also feel you're often our greatest weaknesses are also our greatest strengths, and it's just a flip in perspective. I get such strong resilience from you guys. Your souls are so resilient. yeah. So that was your guys' reading. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more pick a card readings on past lives. I also do healing videos and other things like that, but my primary focus really is past life clearing and bringing awareness to how can we clear past life karma and integrate our souls on the deepest level and align with our highest timelines. And if you had any special experiences while watching this video, I invite you to comment below. I would love to hear any experiences you had, what resonated, and thank you so much for being here. I'm sending you so much love, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Hello, Pile 2. Welcome. We're gonna get started with your reading, and we're gonna see what card I pulled for you guys. So this card is kind of like the overall energy for what is being unlocked for you guys. I say unlocked because I'm already looking at the card and I'm like, wow, there's a lot being unlocked. But this is like the overall energy for you guys to give us just an idea of what's going on with your energy, and then we're gonna go deeper into what past lives are most impacting you now, or most significant for you now. So the card that we have is Star Ancestors, Hidden Secrets, Lost Wisdom, Looking a Little Deeper. Whew, so super ancient Egypt vibes. Wow, we got pyramids. I'm also getting Aztec vibes as well. So just definitely some past lives around pyramids coming up. We also have major light codes, major life codes. Life codes, wow, I meant to say light codes. I really do feel ancient Egypt here, and I'm also seeing Sirius. Like, some of you were very connected to Sirius while incarnated in ancient Egypt, potentially. So we're going to do some clarifying cards just to go a little bit deeper into what is going on with your energy right now, what kinds of past lives are most significant to you now, Pile 2, in your current life. What kinds of past lives are most significant to Pile 2 now at this time? Six of Cups, Six of Swords, something was coming through about demons, but I feel like it's like a releasing of demons, like your inner demons, kind of. Like it feels like a releasing happening. Okay. Queen of Swords reversed. Major throat chakra downloads happening. Eight of Swords. Two of Cups. Okay, so first off, I feel like you guys, like I said, there's this huge energy around a lot being unlocked. A lot of higher light codes being unlocked. We're going back to ancient Egypt. Already your souls are super evolved, but I'm getting like almost like your higher self is coming into your body right now. Like you're literally recoding. Your DNA is being recoded, and it's almost like we're going, like you're integrating an aspect from ancient Egypt. Aztec too, an Aztec aspect for some of you. But there's this like very evolved like high priestess energy that's being integrated. Some of you are really connected to the stars, really connected to the planet Sirius. It was like you were connected to that planet through the incarnation. Okay, this card wants to come out. We have the Sun card. That's so beautiful. Yeah, it's like an anchoring of your higher self coming through. To me, I feel like it's interesting because these crows, I feel like, are signifying like someone's shadow selves and shadow aspects. I feel like lower aspects of your soul, like incarnations your soul has had where you've been like, it's been like a lower aspect of your soul, kind of like a lower timeline. I'm like seeing all these like, whoa, okay, there's a lot happening here. So it's almost like cords are being cut, but now that makes me think of like cords being cut with people in your life that are kind of like toxic connections. And we're also moving out of this kind of like dualistic thinking. So yeah, and then also a releasing of being like anchored in sort of like a lower energy. Okay, the like kind of like the underworld energy is coming up right now, where I feel like some of you are actually like pulling your souls out of the underworld, which is really interesting because this is something I actually recently have done for myself, is pulling my own soul out of the underworld. But I'm definitely picking that up for you guys. For some of you, I feel, might be experiencing pulling your soul out of the underworld, which is like this lower, it's like gosh, my friend recently tried to like explain the underworld. She's very connected to the underworld, and it's not like good or bad, but it's just you know, any incarnation that our soul gets trapped into a loop in, it needs to be like pulled out of. And so I feel like there's like pulling your soul out of past incarnations where it gets stuck into a loop, pulling out of like lower timelines of your soul. This is all happening naturally through the energetic work that's been being done for you. So whatever work you've been doing for yourself, like, yeah, there is this anchoring of an aspect of you from like ancient times, before there was any sort of like I don't sense this being a hard life. I sense this being a very higher dimensional lifetime. An Aztec, ancient Egypt lifetime, but it's super higher level. And you're integrating that aspect right now. So I'm seeing the Ankh symbol. Some of you may be really connected to the Ankh. And I'm seeing like extraterrestrial beings coming down from like in working, coexisting with humans. Why am I like even resistant toward calling you guys humans, though? It's like your DNA was so different back then. But yeah, you were humans essentially. It was just so like connected to the other realms. So I feel like that's what's happening, and through this activation that's been going down for you guys, there's been a releasing of shadows, and there has been like energetic cords maybe that need to be cut for you guys right now. And those cords being also deeply karmic, like this could be past life karma that has created these karmic cords with people that need to be cut in your current life. And each of those connections and relationships is going to look different and has a different reason for there being a cord there. But there's like negative cords, like there's positive cords and negative cords, cords that are serving us and cords that are not serving us. And there's just like these cords that kind of like pull on your energy and keep you maybe thinking about a person, worrying about what someone thinks of you, kind of keeping that person in your energy when it's in a way like holding you back from being your fully empowered self. So there's like a clearing that needs to happen around that, I feel. And that does feel like past life and karmic, also potentially ancestral. Could be cords with family members, but it does feel past life related to. I feel that whatever cords there are with anyone in your life, it's like you're ready to cut them. I feel like those of you who are watching this, who chose this pile 2, you're at that point where you've kind of like done the inner work around it, or maybe there's still like inner work to do, but it's like you're ready to cut cords with people. Sometimes we need to actually like go in and do a lot of inner healing work around someone to fully cut a cord. And I'm not saying that there's not inner work to do to still do that for you guys, but I do feel like there is it's kind of like there's this like natural readiness, I feel, where you could actually just like do a ritual of some sort to cut the cords, and then it would be done. I'm actually seeing this around a new moon, full moon, or if it's an eclipse season, then I encourage you to do this around a solar eclipse in particular, but a lunar eclipse would work too. And writing out people who you want to cut cords with, and you can do this in like multiple ways. One way is to write on one side of a piece of paper your name, and on another side of the paper the person's name you want to cut a cord with, putting a line through it and a line connecting your name to their name, and then cutting that line that connects you to that person, if that makes sense. So it's like their name, your name is here, their name is here, your name is here, their name is here, and there's a line connecting you, and then you cut the middle, and then you burn both sides of the paper. And you ask your guides to also please cut all cords. You can also ask Archangel Michael. I often say call in my higher self, spirit guides, and Archangel Michael to please cut all cords between me and this person that are no longer serving me, and then cut the cords, cut the paper, and then burn both sides of the paper. And you can do that with multiple people, and it's a really powerful ritual to cut cords with people that you need to cut cords with. Yeah, so I say solar eclipse just because solar eclipse is like purging of shadows. It's like really deep karma clearing. We can really harness solar eclipses for that. So, but it also really, it can go with any astrological event, or really even just if you're like, I just need to do this now, I would just trust that and just do it now. But yeah, so I'm gonna pull some other cards to clarify what else has been coming up for you guys, what other past lives are most relevant for pile 2 at this time. Just dropped the card. We have 5 of Cups reversed, Ooh, that was so many cards. I'm actually gonna put this back and try again, because that was a lot. I feel big light, like big energy integrating. Again, Magician, yes. So yeah, it's kind of like clearing. It's like through this integrating of an aspect of you in ancient Egypt. I actually want to get clarity on what you were doing in this Aztec or ancient Egypt lifetime. Asking Pile 2 Spirit Guides, please give me clarity on what they were doing in their pyramid lifetime, the lifetime that's integrating for them at this time, this higher lifetime in ancient Egypt or Aztec. What was Pile 2 doing in their Aztec, ancient Egypt lifetime? Seven of Swords. Queen of Wands reversed. I'm hearing cultivating. I'm hearing you were training. Six of Swords. And King of Wands reversed. Oh, that's so crazy. What? This card always like makes me feel weird because it's like this giant ice coffin that this girl is laying in. But I actually feel like a sacred energy around this. In another reading, it was not very sacred. But I do feel actually a sacred energy around this, and I never noticed, but there's actually bunnies in this, and wolves. I thought that they were all polar bears, so that's funny. But yeah, I get a sacred energy around this, actually. And I get very High Priestess. Some of you actually may have like been kind of like been really deeply connected to spirit, been like a channel for spirit. Yeah, and I feel like you were a some of you were like a high priest, high priestess. Some of you were cultivating all sorts of other gifts, like leadership gifts, I feel. It's interesting, we have Queen of Wands reversed. And Six of Swords. This feels like some of you actually were like great leaders, I feel. Some of you have experienced falls of certain civilizations, like, so it's almost like there's this loss, because I keep getting Lemuria sometimes, which I was like resistant to talk about because I didn't know if that was relevant, but some of you might resonate with Lemuria being like, and if you do resonate with Lemuria, I feel like you were a great leader in Lemuria. Like you were like a like you led an entire you were like I don't know, like it's like I'm trying to put to words a civilization that I don't even fully understand. Like I don't understand their hierarchy, how the leaders worked, but I see sort of like like the leaders are very shamanic. They're very they were very in tune energetically, and it's like the leaders are very like have very evolved souls, and so the fact that your soul was very evolved in Lemuria says a lot about how ancient your soul is. We got a lot of ancient souls on this coming onto my channel because the last reading was also for some very ancient souls. Your guys' souls feel like even like you have been really great leaders, like really great leaders. And I feel like you have watched entire civilizations fall. But you've also learned a lot about leadership, and I feel like you're kind of like coming into a leadership role in your life now. I keep hearing the word cultivating, and I'm not sure why, but it's coming up around this card. Like cultivating gifts, that's what I'm hearing. So you have a lot of gifts that you have been, in a sense, training for. Your soul is really extraterrestrial. Your soul has had actually like a lot of lifetimes on other planets, but and your soul really likes incarnating places to accumulate new gifts. It's like this, it's like a hobby to come to different places and accumulate new gifts through connecting with that culture. So your soul has like a well of wisdom, has a lot of gifts, and that's why you've been able to be a great leader. You've been able to like hold space for a lot of different people with diverse gifts and needs. And yeah, I'm almost seeing someone's soul being in this block of ice, but they're like, it's like dormant. It's like a dormant energy, a dormant aspect of their soul that is currently being like awakened. Like I'm seeing all these beings around this person as like their spirit guides, and it's like their DNA is being woken up. And there's a really strong connection between this and ancient Egypt. And I was trying to get information on ancient Egypt lifetimes. The magician, I feel, was about the ancient Egypt lifetimes. So yeah, and also like, yeah, so I feel like those of you who were connected to ancient Egypt were like these like divine priestesses, and you practiced magic. You had very magical gifts. Some of you were really connected to the pyramids in the sense that some of you may have even been like behind the archetype, like creating the pyramids. So that's really interesting. But I also feel like some of you like utilize the pyramids and the energy of the pyramids to perform sacred rituals, and some of you were actual like straight channels to other galaxies and other beings. You were messengers of Source for ancient Egypt or Aztec cultures. Yeah, we have Wheel of Fortune. Some of you were astrologers. Some of you were really connected with the stars. You understood astrology. You were able to like map it out. There's like this deep connection to astrology that some of you have. Yeah. Again, it's like even some of you may have been like the extraterrestrials that came down and like coexisted with the Aztecs or the Egyptians. But I also feel a lot of you were like the actual Egyptians that were already there, because I get this feeling of like being on Earth and beings coming down and like you being a messenger, like you working with them. Interesting. But yeah, there's strong association with astrology and also just being a divine channel of Source. Messenger, great teacher, light leader. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to pull a couple cards on guidance for you guys. Guidance for integrating these energies. What can you do to fully integrate the energies? Again, sorry about any sounds in the background. I never know what this camera is going to pick up as far as sounds, and so I'll just, you know, keep going. But okay, so what can pile 3 do to integrate energies coming up? So we have Sky Bridge, possibility for union. That is so the energy I'm getting for you guys. Also makes me think of like the merge of the divine feminine and divine masculine. I get such goddess energy here. Like, you guys, your DNA is being really activated, initiated. A lot of you are actually like ascended masters that came back to Earth. Ascended masters either from Earth or other planets. Like, you're, and also gods and goddesses. You've been gods and goddesses. And you are actually like activating that DNA in you right now. We have caterpillar, opportunity. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna read these cards, starting with Skybridge, possibility for union. What needs to be connected or disconnected? You stand before a seemingly unbreachable abyss, and there is no possibility of retreat. The path behind you is no longer a viable option. You have to act soon, though, or you run the risk of being stuck at the edge of the cliff. Life has brought you to this moment to offer you as yet undreamt of possibilities. But you must no longer postpone what you know to be inevitable. And yes, you are allowed a breath or two before the leap. So take a bit of time to yourself. Get away for a day or two of contemplation, or even for just a few minutes walk to clear your head. Muster your courage so that you may cross the sky bridge. Sky bridge appears when the moment is absolutely right for a quantum leap. Life believes you are ready, even if you do not agree. Remember not to confuse your true state of readiness with your plans and preparation. Respond with a determined yes, and let the universe take care of the details. You need only hold on to your positive affirmation, and the way will become obvious as you take flight and clear the abyss. That was so activating. Like, this light, I just feel like your oversoul, like you're becoming like a very clear divine channel to your oversoul. Like, there's such big energy around this, such pure, expansive energy around this pile. I'm sorry, I feel like I said pile 3 at some point during this reading, and I definitely meant pile 2. I'm just a little bit tired right now. Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna read Caterpillar, transformation, opportunity, independence from conditioned responses. The energy of Caterpillar appears heralding a time of transformation and opportunity. Here you are being asked to revise your dreams. If it looks and smells familiar, step away from it for the time being. The new cannot emerge from the old, and the youthful and vital cannot emerge from the aged and sickly. Experiment and surprise yourself with what arises for you in this moment. Caterpillar is an invitation to test out a new strategy to get a different, better result. Remember that the definition of lunacy is continuing with the same thinking and behavior and hoping for a different outcome. It's time to break away from habitual responses to surprise yourself and startle others, eliciting a smile or frown or look of awe from those around you. Do not wait for an invitation from life to practice a bit of outrageousness or for permission to do the unexpected. Any other response right now will lead to more of the same and no real change. Sometimes the most original response is no response whatsoever. Stand stock still, staring steadily into the eyes of the players in your drama, avoiding engagement until the moment is right. Caterpillar invites you to witness the story unfolding, knowing that deciding on the timing of your action is as essential as finding the best move to make. And when you do act, let there be no doubt in anyone's mind of your determination and the power you unleash. Wow. Yeah, there's so many messages there. I feel like where it says sometimes the most original response is no response whatsoever. Stand stock still, staring steadily into the eyes of the players in your drama, avoiding engagement until the moment is right. That made me think of this card right here. The cords that need to be cut. I feel like that was kind of the message around that, about what to do around, you know, cutting cords with people in your life that could be holding you back. And it's like, maybe, like, it's not necessarily blaming them for holding you back, but cutting those cords, that belief around them being the reason why you can't do something. And yeah, the message of avoiding engagement until the moment is right. That, that was a clear message. Whoops, I hope that didn't. Okay, we're good. So we also have, there was the part where it said, remember that the definition of lunacy is continuing with the same thinking and behavior and hoping for a different outcome. So there's such a strong energy, I feel, around making a change or like going for something, which would make sense because I feel like it's like if you're kind of in similar, like doing the same things you've been doing for a long time, it likely won't match up to your energy, because I feel like you're going through such monumental energetic shifts that your life is going to need to physically start to match up with that. And to do that, you'll have to start making changes in your physical life to match with your energetic frequency. I feel like there's like, your physical life is going to start to match these like goddess energies that are coming in for you right now. And so that's why you might be feeling called elsewhere, feeling called to make changes in what you're doing with your life. Yeah, so that was your guys' reading. I hope that you enjoyed, and if you did enjoy, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you're interested in learning more about your past lives. For those of you who watch this reading, your souls are super, super ancient, so even if you watched every past life reading that I ever do on my channel, it's like not even going to encompass everything about your soul. So yeah, that was just a little side note. You're like, those of you watching this video or this reading, pile 2, like your souls are so ancient, so ancient. Yeah, and please comment below if you had any special experiences while watching this video, if anything particularly resonated. I would love to hear it. I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day. Hello, Pile 3. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. Let's get started with your reading. So we're going to look at what card I pulled for the overall energy that is going on for you right now. There might be some weird shadows going on too, because the sun is starting to go down, but we're just going to work through it. And again, if there's weird noises in the background, I apologize. I never know what my camera is going to pick up. So, okay. So this is kind of like the overall energy of what's going on with your energy at this time, and then we'll go deeper into the incarnations that are most relevant for you and most impacting you now. So the card we pulled is Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. So I definitely get this feeling that your soul is here to learn. I get very starseed energy, like your soul is from another planet, another galaxy, another dimension. I didn't even mean to say another galaxy, but that came through. But yeah, your soul is like from elsewhere. And just a little side note before we go into this, because I feel like it's relevant. Earth, something I've picked up on about Earth is that Earth is like this karmic planet. There is a lot of karma that has been accumulated across many different planets, and I feel very cosmic energy from this reading. So if you guys are really cosmic, this is definitely the reading for you. If you feel like you're kind of like an alien in this world, this is really definitely the reading for you. So Earth is like this utopia of all these different planets and dimensions and beings from all over the galaxy that come to Earth to basically learn how to coexist with each other. Earth is very diverse. This is something that's been really interesting for me to pick up on, is that Earth is like made up of beings from everywhere, and that's not how it is on every planet. Every planet is so different, and Earth is like particularly for beings from all over the galaxy to learn to coexist with each other. So here we are also clearing karma all across the galaxy. That's why Earth is so important to other higher beings too, but also because Earth is just one of the many planets that are just part of the solar system. It's important. So anyways, I'm not gonna go off on a tangent, but that was just something that I felt was important to say, because I feel like that's relevant for you guys, that some of you have accumulated karma on other planets and in other galaxies. I don't know why I keep wanting to say other galaxies, but I do. And that is something that you're actually clearing here on Earth. You're clearing that karma from other planets. And you also came down to Earth to learn about karma and do deep healing, soul healing work, so that you could actually bring those lessons back to the planets that you came from. So I'm hearing some of you are going to feel connected to Lyra, the Pleiades, Andromeda, Orion. Particularly Andromeda, Orion, and Lyra have experienced a lot of karmic experiences. Yeah, so, okay, I'm going to clarify though. Let's see, what else can Pile 3 spirit guides tell us about the past lives that are most relevant for them at this time? The star, and I just heard star child. Yeah, so some of you are like star children. Ace of Swords. Some of you might have a really hard time speaking your truth. This is because your soul is really different. Like, you're not from here. Again, those of you who are watching this, like, really are not from this planet. Like, you may have had many incarnations on Earth, but ultimately, like, your soul feels home is elsewhere. I feel like you've always felt a little bit like an outcast. It's possible those feelings are coming up. With this card, I'm getting kind of outcast energy. But it's almost like there's also this perspective shift of like outcast can be beautiful. So that could be something that you're undergoing right now, is this shift in perspective, or maybe you're being called to shift that perspective. But it's like the things that make you like weird and different are the things that make you really special and unique and are associated with your gifts that actually come from another dimension and planet. I'm hearing you're not supposed to fit in. Like maybe some of you have felt this feeling of like you're supposed to fit in, but I'm hearing like you're not supposed to fit in. You're supposed to be different because that's how you're meant to make a change. That's how you're going to make a change on this planet. Okay, we'll see what else. I'm going to pull a couple more cards. Strength reversed. King of Swords. I'm getting this feeling like your soul doesn't realize how resilient you are. Or your soul realizes that you might not realize how resilient you are, how strong you are. I feel this like feeling that maybe some of you might be really sensitive, but it's because of your like cosmic origins. But it's like your spirit guides see you as so resilient and so strong because you chose to come down here and actually incarnate on Earth, which is a really big deal and makes you really, it's really like special for you to be here. I feel like you're very, very, very resilient for being here. And this kind of came up in another reading where it was like feeling this comparing yourself to someone else, and it's like I feel this feeling of like your soul, like, or I keep wanting to say your soul, but I feel like this feeling like maybe you might, those of you who might be watching this could have a tendency to compare yourself to others and see others as being able to fit into the world better, or feeling like things that make you feel like you're weak, you might not realize are actually your greatest strengths, like empathy, being able to feel really deeply, being very sensitive, being very psychically aware. You guys are very psychically aware and very telepathic, and it makes it difficult to be in the world. And again, that is a huge strength. Not everyone comes here. I feel like you guys have like angelic or very cosmic DNA, like your DNA is different, and not very, like, a lot of people wouldn't be able to handle that. Like they wouldn't be able to handle being in this world with those gifts. And so really it does make you very, very strong to be able to be here. Again, sorry about the noises in the background. Yeah, okay, so I'm gonna pull, but yeah, so it makes you very strong to be able to be here. And I also feel like the sensitivity around speaking your truth could have been from past lives of experiencing being persecuted. I'm also seeing some of you having roots in Orion, being connected to the Orion constellation. There's a lot of war that happened there. Speaking your truth was like not allowed. Like people who spoke their truth would get persecuted. Crazy stuff happened in Orion. It's like super, I guess it's almost like reading a sci-fi book or like watching a sci-fi movie when I tune into the stuff that happened. And I feel is even still happening in Orion. Enslavement, mind control, dark, really dense energy. Like the freedom that we have here isn't something that you've could also be really difficult. So it's also like you might feel especially sensitive in this world just because the construction of our DNA is really different. Our or what am I trying to say? It's like the construction of your DNA is different to those around you, but also could be like, it could also just be that you are like different, like the way that this planet operates and the way that the energy is on this planet is just so different. But you have experienced density. You've experienced, you know, being pushed through resilience in Orion, like having this, gosh, like major throat chakra wounds. I feel some of you were persecuted for speaking your truth. I'm just seeing like entire armies created over mind, like through controlling people's minds. This is also something I picked up on in Andromeda, but I'm getting really strong Orion vibes from you guys right now. So yeah, it's really heavy, heavy, heavy energy. You have the Fool. So what's happening now is I feel like you're unraveling all of that. You're unraveling the energy from Orion. There's energy from Orion that's here. It's almost like there's such a strong contrast here of light and dark that it's like you're able to kind of like span across really dark and really light energy, and that can be really overwhelming. Like you're so tapped in that you can tap into like really light and really dark at once, and that's one of your gifts. Like you're able to perceive a lot happening at once and actually process it. A lot of people could not perceive as much as you do at once and be able to process it, because your soul is just like has experienced the training that it has through the incarnations it's had on these other planets. It can process a lot of dark and a lot of light at once. And so yeah, Earth School, life lessons, soul growth, study, higher learning. Yeah, you're experiencing a lot of higher level learning here. I feel like you're integrating higher aspects of your soul while also integrating lower aspects of your soul at the same time. You're like, your soul is processing incarnations in Orion, whether you are conscious of it or not. It doesn't even matter, because stuff happening in our world right now is very connected to Orion. Like I said, because Earth is like this utopia of all these planets, like people from all over the galaxy coming here to incarnate and learn to coexist with each other. It's like as we learn to coexist with each other, it's like we're healing the cosmos. The energy will ripple out into the galaxy. Okay. I'm gonna pull a couple more cards with this Mermaid deck to just see if there's anything else that comes through for pile 3. This just has such Orion vibes. This tower looks Orion to me, like it's so Orion. So yeah, you've experienced your entire civilizations being destroyed and being enslaved on other planets. We have the Magician. Just keep hearing Light Warrior. You guys are light warriors. And so sensitive. I get such sensitive energy, but not in like a disempowering way. We have 3 of Cups. This life is meant for joy and happiness. Some of you might have really serious energy, like I need to change the world, I need to have an impact. This might just be some of you, but I'm getting the message to like enjoy this life. It's like you've experienced such intensity on Orion, on Orion planets, like such intense energy, such serious energy. It's like hard to, it might be difficult for you to like let your guard down and like be joyful and have fun. Ace of Wands. Yeah, I'm hearing like your guys want you to not necessarily do what's right. Like maybe some of you might feel like you need to do what's right to like change the world or do something really big to help the world. Like I feel this desire for that maybe some of you might have to like do something big, but I'm hearing like follow your passions, follow your joy. And that might not come super naturally for you guys. I don't mean to laugh. I can relate. But that might not come super naturally for you guys to just let that guard down and let yourself be joyful, enjoy time with friends, and follow your happiness. But ultimately, that's how you're going to make the greatest impact. The things that really light you up, light your fire, that's what you're here to do. And it's almost like there's this need to like, it's almost like you have this tendency to like separate the light from the dark as like, I don't know why I see it as like compartmentalizing a little bit, but I want to like bring it together for some reason. Like I want to see a merge. I want to see the dark and the light merge. Like I feel like maybe you might, I feel like your soul, like you might have a tendency to take time to like cry, do the inner work, like be in a tower moment, and then you might, you know, feel like you need to like really create space to like be happy, have happy moments and joyful moments. But for some reason I'm feeling this like desire to like merge the two, and almost like there's this it's so hard to explain what I'm seeing, but I'm almost seeing this like this coping mechanism of almost like planning out when you're gonna feel good and when you're not. I'm not really sure how that would go down, but I'm like seeing someone kind of like planning out trying to plan something out, and it's like instead of just being with what comes up in each moment and letting their guard down and letting it flow. And I feel like that's what your guides want you to do. I hope this is making sense. I feel like your guides just really want you to let your guard down and just like I almost see some of you as like trying to be joyful, like feeling that guidance from your guide of being like, I do need to have more fun. I need to have more fun. And like trying to make time for that, but then feeling sucked back into dark, heavier energies. And what I'm seeing is almost like that's because there's a guard up around actually like, are you really letting yourself have fun? Are you really letting that guard down? Are you really letting yourself follow that light? I feel like those are questions to ask yourself. Because it's almost like fear that if you really do let that guard down, if you really do let yourself follow that light, then the tower is going to be a lot more painful when it comes. But that's not necessarily true. And I feel like that's a program from lifetimes in Orion where you've experienced it being in a super high frequency, it being super, super light, like everything was like perfect. Your life was beautiful, everyone was happy, and then like you experienced in witnessing the enslavement of an entire planet that you loved, the fall of a I want to say civilization, but I don't even think that's the right word for it, but a community losing its purity, a planet losing its purity because of an infiltration of dark forces. I feel like you've experienced that, and so there's this fear of really letting the light in. This like makes me think of surrender, this card, surrender. Yeah, and when I talk about a soul training for something, like, I really am, like, I'm not really necessarily talking about the soul going to a school and learning. Like, sometimes they'll experience trainings through different, like, schooling situations on different planets, but really, like, Earth itself is a school. Just your incarnation here on Earth is the school. Like, you're learning through your experiences here. And I feel like, yeah, there's a lot of higher learning you're taking away from your incarnation in this life. I am going to pull a couple cards to see what kind of guidance is coming through for pile 3 on how to clear the past life karma that came up in your reading and integrate the energies. We have Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing. And we have Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. This card has always made me think of Orion, and I think it's just because of this metallic, like the metallic being. I always see very like metallic energy around Orion. Okay, so I'm going to read these cards actually because I really love this deck and the wisdom that it has to say. It's the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Alright, so Fortune's Wheel, luck and right timing, a turn of fortune. The Fortune's Wheel is a sign that luck has found the right timing in your life. You have the magic touch and everything turns to gold. There is nothing you can do wrong. You only need to hold what you desire in your intention, and it becomes true. Do not waste this power on trifling things. Dream big, for surely this opportunity or this opportune moment will pass. Such is the nature of Fortune's Wheel. Use the creative power of the Fortune's Wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will be returned to you tenfold. Use it only for your own gain, and you will be left impoverished and with the bitter taste of squandered opportunity. Fortune's Wheel comes unannounced. Notice the early signs, the coincidental encounters, and the seemingly magical and synchronistic events that herald its arrival. That call, that email, that invitation, that chance encounter was no accident. They all were choreographed by Fortune. Do not wait any longer. Carpe diem. Recall your boldest and noblest longing and invite it into your life. This invitation is all that is required. Wow. Yep. That is, so yeah, if something's coming in for you guys, you'll know too if it lights you up. I feel like that's also something your guides are like, does it light you up? And I'm seeing this light here on the wheel and these wings, like, yeah. Wow. Okay. So yeah, there might be an opportunity coming in for you guys. Use the creative power of the Fortune's Wheel for the benefit of others, and the gifts will return to you tenfold. That's beautiful. But I also feel like it's like for the benefit of others through something, a mechanism, or through something that lights you up and lights your fire. But yeah, also like it's almost like if it lights you up, you'll want to do it no matter what. And so if you're doing it for the benefit, you'll be able to do it for the benefit of others, and it won't drain you, kind of thing, because it'll light you up so much, if that makes sense. Okay. I feel like this card is something you can also just have your own personal takeaways, so I'm not gonna go on and on. Okay, Fool's Embrace. Allowing life to love you, the experience of both land. The pain of life is sometimes unbearable. When we're in it, we think that pain, that loss, that betrayal will always be woven through our continuity of existence. We're kept hostage by the way we identify with the pain and what we make it mean. If we let it, it becomes etched into us like a tattoo. No matter where on the spectrum of pain you find yourself now, whether it be mild disappointment or searing loss, it's time to make peace with it, befriend it rather than resisting it, running from it or judging it as bad or unfair or hostile. Can you see the gift that is here? Surrender to the Fool's Embrace, allowing the truth to envelope you in love and compassion. What if you could learn something amazing from this? What is truly yours will not pass you by. Something better and perfect for you is waiting elsewhere. If you could come to terms with the liberation and freedom inherent in loss, your broken heart might open you up to a greater sense of humanity and compassion. As in the narrative of tarot, the Fool will be at the beginning of your life's adventure and at the end when you've integrated all the wisdom you've accumulated along the journey. He will never let you down or lie to you. He will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life, both and. This and that will always be true. Remember, the pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. All is well now and will be well. Remember that today as you feel the Fool's Embrace. Yeah, so I feel like that's putting to words what I was struggling to put to words on, this merging of the dark and the light. It's almost like I wasn't seeing you too much like avoiding anything, but almost like, I don't know, when it said, he will, however, teach you how to revel in both the beauty and desperation of life. Both / and this and that will always be true. So it's almost like accepting the existence of pain and light together. There's like this need to like accept the existence of the dark and the light, the pain and the joy, to be together. And at some point, eventually, you might find that you're kind of feeling both at once. Sometimes I'll kind of experience these feelings of being like super sad, but somehow also like reveling in the sadness and like joyful in it. So I feel like there's like these layers of feelings that are just like wanting to come together and merge, and almost like don't even want to be identified as like anything. Like, with maybe sometimes it could be helpful not even to name the feeling or emotion that you're feeling, because it could just be like a merge or a blend of multiple feelings at once. Yeah, okay, well, remember that pearl can't be created without the gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. That also really stood out to me. I don't know, I feel like that. Something someone told me once was that Earth is known for having a lot of friction, and Earth is known for evolving souls really quickly. because it has so much friction. And so not all souls choose to come and incarnate on Earth, but when they do, they come here to experience that friction of light and dark. Like this, what I was seeing in Orion, there was so much dark, it almost like didn't even feel like there was a lot of light there. It's almost more painful to be in a place where there's so much light and dark at once, which we have here is like a vast, vast contrast. A vast contrast of light versus dark. And that might be really uncomfortable for your soul because your soul has been used to experiencing really light and then really dark. But here we have so much contrast of light and dark. And what's beautiful about that is that you have that friction that will evolve the soul really quickly, which is that gritty sand causing discomfort and acting as a catalyst in the oyster. Your pearl is discovered in radical acceptance that everything has value. So radical acceptance of this contrast, light and dark together. Wow. And sometimes we need to learn how to accept the light. Sometimes we're resisting the light and comfortable in the dark. I feel some of you might actually be in that place. So the light can be painful. But yeah, it wants to coexist with the dark. That's the message here. So that was your guys' reading. I hope that you enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you're interested in learning more about your past lives. Also, please feel free to comment your experiences, if anything particularly stood out to you or resonated, and what your experience was watching this video. I would love to hear it. I am sending you so much love. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day.